guys like memes and math, huh? Well, I can give you memes and math! In all seriousness, thank you for making that video do as well as it did. I did not expect that video to get nearly as popular as it did. Noctune's always been a passion game for me ever since I sacrificed my soul to the devil that is the solo challenge, and I'm happy to impart my knowledge unto y'all, because nobody has any definitive information on this! Seriously, shoutouts to Kevin Sephiroth on GameFAQs. He was basically my dealer, because I was trying to make a calculator, and every single approximation on magic formulas I tried didn't fucking work! And the random Japanese website I was provided by a friend was spotty and inconsistent and just read like, I still can't read moon runes! Someone please help me, why is there no information about Noctune? Anyway. So he gave me the wonderful gift of this bullshit. And I said I'd do this, and I'd hate to be an Activision and lie to you all. So, here I am, deconstructing Nocturne and detailing why magic's damage is just fucking bonkers. Oh my fucking god, I fucking... So for those of you who saw my video where I broke down what we could tell about Nocturne HD's Merciful Mode, you might remember what I said about physical damage. But, in case you haven't seen that video or don't remember, here's a refresher. Physical damage was calculated as level plus strength times power divided by 15. Simple and easy. A lot of games tend to keep their formulas pretty simple and easy. For example, take a look at this. These are the damage formulas for Final Fantasy Tactics. You may notice that most of them are pretty well the same, give or take with some tweaks. That's probably because Square Enix coders are smart people with healthy coding habits and generally like people. However, Atlas over here got their degrees in theoretical bullshit instead of coding, because these formulas are about as easy to understand as Aperture Science physics. Atlas per science, we do what we want because go fuck yourself. You know what this is? You know what this fucking is? First of all, we need to ignore all of this. All of these formulas where it says this is how you calculate damage, yeah, ignore them. We first go to this formula. This is the formula for the peak. The peak uses two more hidden values that nobody would ever think existed. The limit and the complement. Thankfully, calculating the peak is pretty easy. It's just limit minus complement divided by power times 255 divided by 24. Who decided that and why? Like, 255 divided by 24 equals 10.625. Why not just say 10.625? Other formulas use decimals. What's wrong here? And why 10.625? The number's completely arbitrary. What is going on? You probably want an example. Okay, I'll give you an example. Let's use the upgraded pixie you get at the 5th Kalpa to theory test. This is good because we know her stats. She's consistent. So she gets Megidolon, which has a power of 90. In addition, its limit is 253, and its complement is 26. So we plug these numbers into our formula, 253 minus 26 divided by 90 times 10.625. We eventually boil that down to 227 divided by 90, 2.522 repeating times 10.625 is equal to 26.7986, etc., etc. Rounds up to 27. Fun fact, actually, most spells actually have a peak of 27. You can actually count the number that exceeds 30 on your hands. But, so now we have this. So what do we do with this random 27 we just pulled out? Well, if Pixie's level is below the peak, again, 27, we use this top formula. If it is 27, we use this second formula. If it's greater but less than level 160, we use this third formula. And finally, we use this final formula if it's beyond level 160. Now, here's where class really gets in session, kiddos. Sit the fuck down, it's time for some goddamned algebra. Now, pretend that we somehow managed to de-level this pixie here. So, we'll start her at level 10. Then we'll put her to level 27, then the level 80 that we actually get her at, and then again at level 160. These numbers might seem arbitrary to you, but just stick with me here. You'll get why in a minute. So, we'll use our theoretical level 10 almighty best girl with 30s across the board and see how much damage we get. See if you can't figure out what's wrong with this formula as we go. 0.004 times 5 times magic plus 36 minus the level times 24 times power times level divided by 255 plus the complement. That's a whole lot to take in, so let's boil that down really quickly. Magic's equal to 30, level is equal to 10, power is equal to 90, complement's equal to 26. 30 plus 36 is 66, 24 times 90 is 2,160. 10 divided by 255 is 0.039, and then we go from there. 5 times 66 is 330. 2160 times 0.039 is equal to 84.7059, and then we get 320 times 110.7059. Multiply all that together, we eventually get 141 and change, or round that up to 142. Now let's try that again with the peak formula. So our formula for when the level is equal to the peak is 0.004 times the truncation of 5 times magic plus 36 minus the peak times the limit. So we do the same thing again. 5 times 66 is equal to 330. The peak is equal to 27. Limit is 253. Boil that all down, we get to 1.012 times 303 for a total of 333.96. Rounded up to 334. Now, let's go over our third formula. The level is now above the peaks, but below 160. So our au natural pixie gets a formula of 0.004 times 5 times magic plus 36 minus level times the limit. This is the last formula we just used. They just... yeah, fuck it, I don't care. 0.004 times 5 times magic plus 36 minus the level times the limit. So we can shortcut this a little bit. We're gonna get 1.012 again times 330 minus 80. That rounds up to 250 multiplied into the 1.012 for 253 exactly. I'm sure everyone's probably already figured it out looking at the screen, but in case anyone didn't get it, here's the final formula. 0.004 times 5 times magic plus 36 minus 160 times the limit. We can shortcut this a little bit again. 330 minus 160 is 170 times 1.012 for a total of 172.04, rounded down to 72. In case everyone didn't get it, here it is again when I said it a little bit while ago. 0.004 times 5 times magic plus 36 minus the level. Stop! There! Yes, this is legit the way the formula works. As your level increases beyond the spell's peak, your damage literally goes down over time. And the fact that most spells cap at level 27 means you never even get to see most spells at their full potential. In fact, there are only 4 spells that the player has access to that don't peak at level 30. Wind Cutter at 36, Daisojo's signature skill Preach at 73, Magma Axis at 101, and Surt's signature skill Ragnarok, which peaks at 104, which is also the best spell in the game that the player has access to. If you want to extend this to enemy-only spells, you'll need to use 2 hands to count them, since we add Arimon's Apocalypse spell at level 141, Noah's Domination at 78, Kakatsuchi 1's Vast Light at 78, and Kakatsuchi 2's Infinite Light at 89. These are even funnier when you consider that you don't even fight any of these characters at these levels. Aramon, Noah, both phases of Kakatsuchi, none of them are at these levels. So why do their spells cap later or at different levels than what you get them at? Why do they not just design these character-exclusive spells around the characters that use them? Now, for all my ranting and raving, you may be wondering, is a magic build even worth it? And to that question, I would say... maybe? I mean, if you're looking for raw power, physical can't be beat. With focus and the potential to crit, even though you're spending a turn down to focus up, you're simply doing so much more damage on average that it winds up being worth it. The physical skills you get just out-damage most magic skills late game. Especially with characters like Noah being immune to everything that's not almighty most of the time, and Lucifer's 75% global resistance to everything. However, the elementals of magic damage, allowing you to capitalize on enemy weaknesses, also can't be understated. That coverage is definitely powerful. Plus, you still have spells like Magma Axis for Demi-Fiend and Ragnarok for Surt, which, if you pair with them with Fire Boost, actually ends up out-damaging Frykugel consistently. Only Focus allows you to outpace these spells on average, and you can still get plenty of damage out of these spells. In addition, you're generally going to want some degree of magic anyway for healing and buffing, so I guess what it ends up coming down to is just personal preference. thank you all for coming, everyone. Sorry if this was a bit less memey than the last one. It's just the fact that magic gets worse in this game as you level up is just anathema to me. And every time I look at the spells, I feel like I want to die inside. That's not to say magic is bad or the game is unbalanced. I actually think the game is actually fairly well balanced around physical and magical. Magical has the ability to fish for weaknesses, while also still being relatively good for damage, while physical has the raw power that you will want for some characters. That's why most people tend to build Demi-Fiend as a physical character and give magical support via his demons. And the alternative is something like Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse, where magic is so strong that there's no reason to ever run physical builds ever, so I mean, hey, I guess it's at least balanced. Anyway, special shoutouts to Zambero for the accuracy formulas he provided while detailing his hard-type mod, and again to Kevin Sephiroth on GameFAQs for providing all of the details you saw in this video. Anyway, let me know which one of these 3 things you'd like to see me cover next time. The truncation nightmare that is physical accuracy, how luck is just the worst stat in the game, or how magic, despite not being the best for damage, is so self-sufficient that you can make a complete build out of it by level 30. Anyway, thank you all for coming, and I'll see you next time. Peace!